It was deep in the night. I sat alone at my desk, surrounded by history books, in silence. One last page was open, May 29th, 1453, the fall of Constantinople. I had read it 100 times. But something was missing. Knew the sultans, the generals, but not the soldiers, not the ones who bled for that dawn. I wrote one last line in my notes. What did a Janissary feel that morning? The desk lamp flickered. My eyes grew heavy. Sleep pulled me in like fog. Then, a sound. Metal grinding. Horses outside. I opened my eyes, but I wasn't in the library anymore. I saw a canvas ceiling. That was Mehmed the Conqueror. Someone sat beside me, but I couldn't. What if I didn't wake up? What if I never returned? Banners rose. Thousands of feet moved in rhythm. The ground trembled beneath us. I drew my sword. My heart throbbed in my chest. But don't stop. Go. Break the gate. He gripped my hand, then let go. That was the first time I truly felt fear. History was pounding within me. A commander shouted, "Forward." Behind those walls lies a dying age. Today, a painting of Mehmed entering Constantinople. I stared. The Sultan on horseback, soldiers surrounding him, and in the crowd a man. His face looked just like mine. My eyes widened, and a voice echoed inside me. This wasn't just a dream. I stood up. Couldn't close the book. Stepped outside. The morning call to prayer had just begun, but I knew. I had lived that day, heard that cannon, felt that blood on my hands. And a single line in history was written with me in it, and I was touching them with my own hands. One ladder, one breath, one final step. I stood on the edge of an era. We marched toward Hagia Sophia, and then it happened. The ground vanished beneath me, my vision blurred. A loud ringing in my ears, then silence. A voice whispered, "Return. The duty is done, but the story remains." I opened my eyes. The library, desk lamp still flickering. The clock read 6:12, and below me chaos. I climbed. A Byzantine soldier locked eyes with me. We didn't speak. We didn't blink. Our swords spoke. Steel clashed. Blood spilled. And the top of the wall fell quiet far away. I saw Hagia Sophia. Istanbul was no longer a dream. I was not just a historian. I was a witness. Sentence carved into time. We break through, or we're buried with it. Then a voice pierced the dark. "Oh God, let there be no rain. Let the cannon speak loud. Let our feet not slip. Remember us. Write our names among the unforgettable." I closed my eyes, laid back on the cold earth. The ground was freezing, but inside I burned. That's when I understood I was no longer a man who studied the past. I was a voice inside it, and morning was coming. Not a time to live or die, but a time to matter. Dawn was breaking. The sky was caught between gray and blue, and the earth was silent. But it was the silence before the storm. Dust-covered face, tired eyes, but a strange peace in his voice. "What's your name, brother?" I couldn't answer, because I wasn't from this world. He smiled. "Doesn't matter. Tomorrow we'll all share the same name. Martyr or soldier of the Conqueror." I paused. All the maps, the books, the documents I'd studied, none of them had his face. His story, his name. We looked up. The stars said nothing. Even the wind seemed to whisper prayers. The legend. The one I had studied my entire life, and now I was no longer a historian. Was a sword in his army, a witness to the breaking of a world. Night had fallen. The army was silent. Men sat around fires. Dust, stone, and flame filled the sky. We couldn't see, but we ran. Straight into history. Arrows fell like rain. A comrade beside me dropped. But their eyes were elsewhere. They already felt tomorrow, dirt beneath me. I looked at my hands. They weren't mine. Rough, scarred, calloused, hands made for war. A man shouted from the tent entrance, "Up, warrior, the final prayer. Today we take Constantinople." My heart pounded, my mind raced. But I was still a stranger in my own skin. Around me warriors prayed, others cleaned their swords. Some simply stared at the city, eyes full of belief. One Janissary gripped my arm. Stand tall, brother. If we fall today, we fall into glory. Then it came. The ground rumbled beneath our feet. A thunder like no storm had ever caused. But my body stood ready. A sword lay beside me. Armor weighed on my chest. And outside, an army marched toward destiny. That's when I knew this wasn't a dream. I was no longer a historian. I was inside history itself. The sky was heavy with dust, the scent of iron, fire, and fate. I stood in the middle of it all. Boom. The great Lehi cannon had fired. Its roar tore the sky open. It wasn't sound. It was history, screaming. My ears rang. My vision blurred. Dust and stone filled the air. I had never felt anything like this. Not in any book. The stone crashed into the walls. Birds fled the heavens. Time seemed to stop. Silence. A terrifying silence. We all waited for the man we followed. He appeared. On a black horse, cloaked in armor and resolve, the Sultan. He raised his voice, deep and clear. My brave ones, before you stands not just stone, but the gates of an era. And it is your blades that shall break it. That voice, it wasn't from a history book. It was real, and it struck something deep in my chest. I held my sword, but my hands were shaking. It wasn't fear. It was facing history. A bell rang in the distance. Maybe it was Byzantium's last prayer. And our final night. The others began to sleep. The horns sounded. The cannons roared. I knelt by him.
Eyes locked onto mine.
Don't leave me. The walls stood before me now. Centuries of stone and defiance. The sky had darkened. The last wall had fallen. I was drenched in sweat, breathing fast. My hand, still trembling, as if I had just dropped a sword. An open book lay before me.